2023 Corvette C8 is a slap in the face of Greta and others alike.
How dare you!
Hello and welcome to Accent on Cars. My name is Elvin and today we have 2023 C8 Corvette, and it's America's response to Ferraris, Lamborghinis and others. And not only that, this car is also the slap in the face of like all the Greenpeace movers and others, and it's a true gift we got from American automobile industry for petrol heads. This beautiful rapid blue Corvette was provided for the review by the owner who is local. Make sure you follow him for more Corvette content. Just look at this, guys. Just look at this. It's elegant, it's sporty, it's beautiful. It's not a Corvette of the past anymore, which was this like plastic thing put together by fat burger eating guys in Detroit. It's an actual sports car. It's an actual performance car for the masses. And that's the most beautiful part, is that the Corvette starts like, you know, the base model for this one, for example, it's a 1LT model, starts between like 60 to 70, depending on the dealer markups. And for that price, you get the performance that you normally get from Lamborghinis and Ferraris. So there are multiple options, 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, and the prices can go all the way up to $100,000. Higher trim levels, some of those like money you pay for like kind of like cosmetics, but you also get a little bit of a kind of like performance upgrades. I would say if you want to get the base model, at least get the Z51 package so that you get a little bit of a sportier brakes, a little bit of better cooling and limited slip differential in the back. Those of you who've been following my channel for a long time know that I drive 2007 E63 AMG, and this car is philosophically might be the closest to my car and might be the car that I consider if I ever decide to sell my Mercedes. Why? Because this one has 6.2 liters naturally aspirated big freaking V8, just like in my car, and that's unheard of nowadays in the world of like downsizing, turbos, all of that. So I've been like for a long time thinking like, what do I get if I ever sell my Mercedes? There's not going to be engines like that. And then thanks to guys from GM, we have this in 2023. So let's walk around a little bit, take a look at the exterior and design. So the front end, super sexy, super sharp. When you see this car in your rear view window, it has that like mean, aggressive, low stance to it. You want to get out of its way and let it go. The headlights are huge with like huge daytime running lights, but they're functional. You know, everything you need, your turn signals, your DRLs, everything is in it, all in one lens. So your high beam and low beam is in one lens. That's cool. The front end, very sexy, very aggressive, but you have to be a little bit careful about scratching this part. If anybody bumps into you backing up, they're gonna hit this plastic bit. Speaking of plastic bit, the whole car is made from composite materials, both making it lightweight and I guess also maybe making the production a little cheaper. I'm not sure. I like the side profile as well, and I like the rear end of it. So it's sexy all around. The only angle that I don't like is when you look at this car like this, you know, when you look at the third quarter, that is when you see that that rear end sits a little too high. Like this transition from the very low and nice like front and then to the back ruins the look a little bit, and perhaps that's the reason why this does not have the same curb appeal that Lamborghinis or Ferraris have. The rims and the calipers have been painted by the owner. It doesn't come like that in the 1LT package from the factory. And this particular one is a coupe, but regardless of whether you get a coupe or whether you get a convertible, you can always remove the top. That's the best part. The only difference is that in the convertible, you get like automatic like folding top. In the coupe, you have to remove them manually. You can always take the top with you. Speaking of it, let's open the trunk and let's open the trunk and let's take a look. In all the videos I've seen on YouTube, everybody keeps saying that the trunk and the front are not large. In my mind, for a car like this, it's enormous. Like you can fit a decent size, maybe 2 or 3 decent size kind of gym bags in here. Maybe you can even like fit like 2 like carry-on airport bags, not the full-size baggage obviously. But just look the way it opens, guys. Just look at it with this beautiful with this beautiful V8 here, which you can see through the glass, mid-engine. Corvette has never been any sexier than this. And the soft close. No soft close for the front. The latch for it is over here, which I would never guess, but you open it, it's lightweight, again made from fiberglass or whatever composite materials. You can fit additional mid-size gym bag in here. Windshield washer cap is right here. So and what is it? And your brake clean. Sorry, and your brake fluid. So you have easy access to those from here, which is great because those are the things that you will use more often. All right, I think enough talking about this car in static. Let's hop in and we'll go for a ride. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you how it drives, how it handles, and what it sounds like. Before we go for a ride, guys, I want to talk briefly about the interior. Interior of the Corvette is also a very nice place to be. All the materials, like everything is like soft touch, has this like you know, like texture to them, like tactile feeling wise, everything is super great. The speakers, even in the base model, you get like Bose or Bose speakers. They sound amazing. There's a little bit of aluminum here. That's so cool. The paddles, unfortunately, they're plastic. They're chrome looking, but they're not actual chrome, but they're nice and large. They are mounted on the steering wheel itself, not on the column. Screens and everything is perfect. You get like Android, is that right? Like Android Auto and CarPlay, even in 1LT. So that's really cool. So we have full digital speedometer, and you know, it's always the case in all American cars. I think like Americans do one of the best screens. So very bright, very crisp. Too much text at first to figure out what's going on, but just look how they've like kind of like put the tachometer in the center. That's the cornerstone. That's the most important thing in this car, and the speed, the actual speed, will appear like over here as we move. So you can go through various settings. Right now we are in the tour or comfort boarding mode. Later we're gonna put it in the sport and maybe even track. One thing I want to underline is that in this car, everything is about the driver. You really get that kind of like, you know, fighter jet cockpit type of experience. Look at, you know, how like both the door panel as well as the center stack kind of like curve around you, puts you nice and centered. This car is not a best car for picking chicks. I guess you can, it looks sexy, but you are isolated from the passenger by this huge center tunnel. Like there's nothing for them to do. It's all like all controls, even their like AC controls are kind of like twisted towards the driver. So it's all about the driver. All these controls over here are basically just the AC controls. I wish they put like some things like the drive mode or traction off here, you know, because this buttons kind of create that kind of like airplane vibe, and I would love to have something that's performance related over here. Yeah, you have physical buttons nonetheless. You can control your basics through the screen. One thing people say is that the screens are, you know, a little laggy as you switch between modes. Let's actually test that. Oh, this like button for switching between modes, it has some really nice way to it. Yeah, I just touched it and it takes a little bit of a delay to kind of like bring up the modes or the screens. So in the sport, everything turns red, and in the track mode, just like in some like Ferraris or I believe like in McLarens, you get your tachometer as like kind of like horizontal bars. The drive select looks a little bit Acura, you know, with these buttons. I'm not a big fan of it, but hey, it gets the job done. So let's keep rolling, get rolling. Even in comfort, as you like, you know, start moving, you do hear that beautiful V8 behind you. There's a little bit of kind of like soft cracks even on the upshifts, letting you know that the transmission is switching, and it's switching very fastly. It's a DCT, dual clutch transmission, 8-speed. A lot of people were kind of like, I guess like pissed or skeptical about not having manual Corvettes anymore. I feel like people's concerns or complaints about not having manual have gone away as once they start driving it. It might be one of the first, if not the first, DCT from GM. I guess only time will show how reliable they are. I hope you guys can hear the downshifts. Yeah, I would say manual mode is the way to enjoy it. I hope this car does not jump in front of us. So much drama. There's so much drama when you floor this thing. Thank you. A little bit of wheel spin over there. Yeah, this is a performance car for the masses. Yeah, I'm so grateful that to GM that we have a big V8 in 2023. If you're a true petrol head and you're looking for a V8 engine, you should rush to get one, because even Corvette, like they have like a fully electric version. This shit is going away. So get one while you can. You can't get V8 from AMG anymore, unfortunately, unless you spent like $200,000 on the GTS. Ride is superb. Ride is superb. I don't know how much better Mag Ride is, but this ride is like pretty comfortable. I will agree that the throttle mapping is a little strange. It's not linear. You kind of like too much like pedal travel before it really comes on, and it's not obviously there's no turbo, so it's not a turbo delay, it's not the transmission because I can be in manual mode. It's the throttle mapping. I bet that is something that will be fixable by some ECU tune companies or something. It's just like not as linear as you would normally get from a natural aspirated engine. I'm used to fast cars, but what I enjoy more than it being fast is how kind of like flat and planted to the road this thing is. It's not scary to drive this at all.
Whatever you want to do.
People living a mile away from this road can hear us. They're probably thinking some Porsche or something going down the road. No, this is an American muscle car. I mean, not a muscle car anymore. It's an American hypercar, I guess. Pull down both the paddles, it goes into neutral, and you can rev it. That's how you intimidate peasants behind you. Shifts are nice and fast, and I like that little cracked and downshifts. Just look how flat it stays around the corner. The horn sounds pretty generic. Man, that was the most insane launch control I've ever experienced. It's just slingshot. Wow. I mean, how does it like put power down like that in a rear-wheel drive car? It's insane. There was minimum
All-season tires too.
and this whole season too, and on cold day. Amazing. If you are in the sport mode, not in the manual mode, and you downshift and then you don't touch the levers, the transmission is gonna upshift itself. So if you want to be truly in manual mode, you gotta put it in manual. So what's the fuel economy?
So right now we just got 12 miles a gallon. The best I got was 27. That's like driving in very, very conservative on the highway. On average, driving like in track mode all day, I get 12 to 14.
All right, so 12 to 14 if you are pushing it, driving like a maniac, I would assume.
Like a maniac, yep.
But it actually says right here, best 27 mpg. 27 from 6.2 liters.
Notice it says V4 right under D. You can't see it from your view, but when you're cruising, the engine, half of it turns off. So you're right in V4 mode, and that's how you get that mileage.
All right, is there a way to like deactivate that?
No.
No?
When you're in
Okay.
track mode, it's off, but when you're in the regular modes, even sport mode, I guess, which I'm just learning about now, will turn off once you're cruising.
Yeah, I see it says V4 right now. We are pretty isolated from the engine. You can still hear that the engine revving and screaming behind me. But from outside, like, you know, people behind you, they are the ones who really enjoy the show. Man, if I compare it to the engine in my car, you know, it does have the same naturally aspirated engine feeling, which is also I love it much better than turbocharged engine, but it doesn't rev all the way. Maybe it doesn't rev as high as my car does, so maybe that would have been a little better. Like, I don't know, I'm just being a little picky here, just like, you know, thinking out loud. I wish they could make this like engine to be a little higher revving for the noise and for the experience. And thank you so much to the owner for letting me drive his car, experience this beautiful Corvette, which is the bargain of the century. And you guys, please go ahead and check out his content if you want to see more of the Corvette. If you are local, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, hit me up on Instagram or on my email, and I will be more than happy to review your car as well. Appreciate all the love, all the likes, commenting, and sharing, and I'll see you in the future episodes.